What do you think of when you think of Justin Turner? To me, I think leadership, heart, and really, really good at baseball. Well, he was recently awarded for all of this, and it will all be talked about on today's episode of Locked On Red Sox.
You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Red Sox, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Gabby, former ESPN social media associate and current host of the Boston Balling podcast, here to bring you the latest on all things Boston Red Sox, Monday through Friday, right to your feed on your favorite podcast platform. Happy Friday. You made it through the week. You can take a deep breath and hopefully have a really nice, relaxing rest of your week. As you can see, the last couple days, I am back home in my house. If you have been watching the videos on YouTube and notice my background is a little bit different, I just got back from a really, really nice trip, actually, in which I went to the Philadelphia area, North Carolina, and then Pittsburgh. I was able to see Citizens Bank Park and PNC Park both for the first time. It was a really, really great experience at both of them. PNC Park is absolutely gorgeous if you haven't been there, so I highly recommend checking that out because that scenery and being able to overlook the city of Pittsburgh and the water is just absolutely gorgeous. So I have nothing but great things to say about those two ballparks because both were a really, really good experience for me. It was a nice little getaway, but I am back home and back at it with, still talking Red Sox every day, Monday through Friday. So today's show is going to be a little bit of a different mix. Justin Turner recently was awarded for his efforts and recognized. So I'm going to go into a little bit about that and what he brings to the team. Then we're going to have a little off day fun with a game. So I am going to be touching on all of that today as well. Hope you're having a great week, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Red Sox. So Justin Turner was recently named the Red Sox recipient of the Heart and Hustle Award. Basically, this award is given out annually by the MLB Players Association to a current player who excels on the field and also best embodies the values, spirits, and traditions of baseball. So basically, it's somebody who portrays the characteristics of what a true Major League Baseball player represents. And every team nominates somebody every year for this award. And then at the end of the season, players, fans, people around the league vote on the final winner of ultimately what player in Major League Baseball receives the award. And so the Red Sox have selected Justin Turner as their team's winner of the award for this year. And I can't even emphasize how deserving he is of that award. If I could pick somebody on the Red Sox current roster that really truly makes a difference in a lot of different ways, Justin Turner is the guy that I would think of in that situation. And there's multiple reasons why I am a huge fan of Justin Turner. I think he elevates some of the younger players on the team, makes them better in terms of their discipline and overall behavior on the baseball field, how they approach the game defensively, what types of plays they should make when, and also just in the clubhouse off the field, being able to really be a role model for how the game should go. He's been around the league for a long time. He's experienced a lot of different experiences with a lot of different players that he's played with. So he's gotten to know a lot of different types of people around Major League Baseball. And so from the standpoint of being able to lift up others, I think he is really the heart and soul of what the Red Sox really are about right now. He just works super hard day in and day out to improve himself and make the team better as a whole. And he just screams good vibes to me. If I think of Justin Turner, I think of good vibes. And I think if he was gone, there would have been a much bigger hole on this team than people really would have realized. There was news that came out on Thursday that the Red Sox were in active talks to trade Justin Turner to the Marlins at the trade deadline. And you can take that how you will, because obviously reports are just reports. So who knows where it's really coming from. But if that was the case, it would have obviously had to have been for a very, very competitive and tight package. And the Marlins have some great pitching in their system. So I would imagine that the Marlins would have really, really had to have offered the Red Sox some top-notch pitching in order for the Red Sox to even consider that trade. Chaim Bloom ultimately at the end of the day said no and pulled out of the trade, which to me feels like he sees JT as a bigger piece to this team than what we would losing if we gave him up. So ultimately, in so many words, that says to me Justin Turner is a huge part of our organization. And by giving up Justin Turner, despite what we would get back, we still feel like we'd be losing more than what we'd get back. So at the end of the day, it might have been really tempting for Bloom to pull the trigger on that. But because of all those reasons I just mentioned, I think it's absolutely crucial for the Red Sox to have JT here. I don't think they're as close in the playoff run as they are without him. And you can see it in Tristan Casas's play, just how much he's improved this year. And I do like to feel like JT is part of the reason for that, because he plays first base as well. And, he's been able to have some more experience with playing around the infield, which obviously his primary position prior to coming to the Red Sox was third base, but he's played, other than shortstop, every position in the infield this season for the Red Sox. And so he knows from a veteran standpoint the types of plays he should and shouldn't be making when he gets the ball. And I think that's something that he's really been able to help Casas with at first base. And you can just see it in the overall confidence of this baseball team. The confidence level seems to have increased over the last couple months or so. And when you have somebody on the team who's as confident and talented as Justin Turner at the helm that can really, really help elevate everybody as a squad, that's so important, because it really feels to me like he's the glue of the group right now. And the fact that the team nominated him really, really shows how important he is. So it really would have been heartbreaking for the Red Sox to move somebody who the Red Sox thought was the best recipient of the Turner Heart and Hustle Award, the best player on the Red Sox team currently that they feel like could be deserving of that honor. So I'm glad that they didn't move him to the Marlins. I know that it appeared like the trade was in really, really deep talks. I think the Marlins thought that they were close on the deal, and then Bloom decided not to stick with it, which is fantastic. So I'm all team Justin Turner. I think he's absolutely deserving of the MLB Heart and Hustle Award. I think when it comes to the selection process of it, there's a lot of great baseball players that are up for it. Every baseball team comes forward and picks somebody that they feel is deserving. Andrew Benintendi actually is one of the nominations for it. So I thought that was interesting. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of the season who actually wins the award. But regardless of if Turner is the sole recipient at the end of the season, it's still great that he was honored and recognized by his teammates in the MLB Players Association for his efforts on the field and off the field, and being able to really just constantly give 100% effort every day to this game, because every team needs a Justin Turner. Coming up, we're going to be playing a fun little game. It is it was with the Red Sox having an off day in between series. It's always fun to do some fun things and change it up. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a surprise game coming up in the next segment. eBay Motors has you covered for all things car parts. I know they have been a lifesaver to me multiple times. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. So I highly, highly recommend hitting up eBay Motors for anything car parts based. If there's something wrong with your vehicle or you need help with anything at all, they are the place for you and they will absolutely hook you up. So with the Red Sox having an off day yesterday and not really a lot going on, and it's Friday and we all are ready for the weekend and we want to relax, it's such an appropriate day for a game. And this isn't always something that happens on the regular, but I thought it would be a cool way to kind of pull the Red Sox players out of their baseball personalities and bring them into real life settings. So I created a little bit of a most likely to or different scenario type of game with Red Sox players based on their on-field personality and what we've seen from their off-field personality. And I want to see how many of what I have here lines up with what you have. So definitely go heavy in the comments on here. Reach out to me on Twitter if you are not listening on YouTube, and just let me know how you feel about these different categories, what player you would put where, because we all see the players differently and they all have so many different personalities, and that's what makes the team so unique. So I've compiled a list of Red Sox players that if you stick them in different scenarios, I feel would be most likely to do each thing on this list. So if you could grab a drink with any player on the Red Sox current roster, who would it be? I definitely have to go with Jarren Duran on this. He's fun on the baseball field. He makes different things happen with his at-bats. He makes things happen on the base paths, and he really can just do a mix of everything. So he's such a fun player to watch. So I can only imagine that translating well into conversation, because who doesn't love Jarren Duran? Like, he seems like he's such a fun guy to be around, and I'd love to sit down with him and have a drink and really just pick his brain as to what made him into the player that he is and what caused this dramatic turnaround that he's been having all season. Because I can tell you, I know I didn't see it coming, and I'm sure you didn't see it coming either. So I'd love to sit down with him and figure out how that happened and how it came about and how he's able to do literally everything and make it look so easy. So I'm definitely going with Jarren Duran if I had to pick one Red Sox player to just go to one of those bars with in Boston and have a drink and chill. I think it'd be a great time. You're welcome to join us, of course, when I make this happen at Jarren Duran, wherever you are. So who's most likely to become president on the Red Sox roster? I definitely have to go with Chris Sale here. He just seems very, very inspirational. The guy never gives up, even when he's had multiple injuries throughout his career. He stayed dedicated to baseball and determined to come back and be an absolute huge contribution for this team. He was pitching really well before going back to the IL. And so in order to be the president, you have to be strong, I feel like, and you have to be able to really, really stick to your ideas and your thoughts. And I feel like Chris Sale really, really has thick skin and would be able to take the criticism that might come with being in that type of position. So Chris Sale, I totally could envision giving a speech, a motivational one, as to why he should be the president. And I totally could picture, maybe in a few years, maybe 2028, we see Chris Sale up there in the presidential campaign. That'd be pretty cool. Best Red Sox karaoke partner. I had a few options for this one, but to me, I'm going to go with Christian Arroyo. He seems just like such a fun guy who doesn't take life too seriously, and he knows when to, be serious, but when he's in the dugout, it just seems like he has fun interacting with his teammates and being able to just really, really showcase his funny side and his personality. So I would love to just pick a karaoke song that's a duet and do it with Christian Arroyo, because I think he would be such an interesting person to perform with, and just would have fun with it, because sometimes when people go to karaoke, they just stand there and that's no fun. But the people who really get into it with the dancing and are able to move around and really, really make the most of it, those are the people that I enjoy watching do karaoke. And so I'm definitely going with Christian Arroyo there, because I could totally see him feeding off of the energy of the other people that are there watching and the song that you're singing, and be able to really, really make it his own. So I would definitely vote Arroyo to be my karaoke partner. Life of the party, 100% is Rafael Devers. I mean, this guy might not say a whole lot, but he loves to have fun, and we can see it just even on the baseball field sometimes, like when he'll make jokes with his teammates. And I think we saw it a lot when Xander Bogaerts was here and he was playing shortstop, and Devers was playing third. We saw the two of them just really like to mess around with each other and be able to really have fun with it. So I feel like Devers would absolutely be the life of the party if you got a big group of people together, the entire Red Sox fan base, to go to a party. I feel like Devers would be the main source of entertainment in the middle of everything, because he just seems to know how to make light and fun of any situation. And that's what I love about him. And just the fact that he's still younger, so he's still really living his best life right now, just being a part of the Red Sox organization, just signing this massive extension so that pressure is off, and just being able to enjoy himself. So life of the party 100% is Devers. Most likely to host the party, definitely have to go with Alex Verdugo here. He definitely gives off very party-like vibes in terms of just likes to have fun with his teammates and, mess with other people, and be able to be the guy who is constantly there to lift people up when they might be, discouraged. And I always see him just in the dugout, just laughing with his teammates and having fun with it, and bringing people together is the biggest thing. Like, even when he's on the field and he does something great, like he gets a big hit or something like that, he's always, utilizing his arms and pumping people up, and really being the guy who's making sure everyone's having a good time. So I could totally see him, if I was planning a party that involved the Red Sox team, I could totally see him being the guy to organize it and facilitate all of that, because who wouldn't want to party with Alex Verdugo? I mean, that just sounds awesome. Like, I could see everybody going to his house and him sending out a group text to the team that says, yo, party at my house. I think that'd be so fun. I have some more. I have a lot more categories here, fun things. So I'm going to be going into more of these fun categories next. Don't forget that you can get Locked On Red Sox Monday through Friday for free on your favorite podcast platform, with unique Boston Red Sox content every single day, discussing moves, players coming back from the IL, how the team is doing as a whole, if they have a good win, if they have a bad win. It's all here right on your feed Monday through Friday. I am here to bring you all of it. And on social media, don't forget you can follow Locked On Red Sox on Twitter at LO_Red Sox. You can follow me on Twitter at Gabby Hurlbut10, or on Instagram at Gabby_Hurlbut10. And you can keep the conversation going that way, because who doesn't love talking about baseball? It really is the best sport in the world. And especially with the Red Sox being as close as they are to the playoffs, and everybody having different thoughts on how the trade deadline went, now is a great time to follow me and follow the show on social media if you don't already. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can see my Twitter handle there at Gabby Hurlbut10. And the Locked On Red Sox Twitter account is linked to my page, so you can find that way. It's also a great way to connect with other Red Sox fans. If you've been looking to find other people who share the same passion as you do for the same team on social media, now is your chance to really do that. You can go to the Locked On Red Sox Twitter account, and then you can find other Red Sox fans that love and are as passionate about the team as you are. So I highly encourage doing that. And there's some great Red Sox fans that follow the show. So I definitely recommend you connecting with them, and during games really having other people to share your emotions with. I know that's definitely helped me. It's a huge Red Sox support group, so I highly encourage being a part of that, and checking out other people who share the same love for the team as you do. So Monday through Friday, every day, new episodes of Locked On Red Sox. Thank you for making the show your first listen of every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So I was talking about Red Sox players being put in fun scenarios and who's most likely to do what. Most likely to host the party was Alex Verdugo, because he seems like he just loves the socialization and being able to just make sure everybody's having fun in the dugout. And when he does something big on the field, just really, really pumping up the crowd and pumping up his dugout. And I totally could see him being the guy that is hosting a get together. And I hope that I am invited when he does, because I would love to be a part of that and really, really see how he is as a host, because not sure. That'd be interesting. So this next one is most likely to shut down the party and tell everybody it's time to go to bed. That absolutely 100% to me is Justin Turner. He is the dad of the group, hands down. He is the guy who's going to be responsible and make those decisions that are like, oh, we have a matinee game tomorrow, so we should probably go to bed and not be partying anymore. I totally could see him being the guy who, goes up to Devers and Casas and says, all right, guys, it's time to be done now. We need to get to bed because we have to get a good night's sleep because we have an afternoon game tomorrow. What are parents for? That's what they do. They ruin the fun. And I totally could see Justin Turner being the guy most likely to shut down the party. And I absolutely respect him for it, because that's what I love about Justin Turner is his discipline. And I think his on-field discipline that he has at the plate and in the field, and being able to make the most responsible decisions on the field, will translate to his personality off of it, and being that guy who's like, all right, seriously, like it's time for us to, shut this down because we need to play well tomorrow. So that absolutely to me is Justin Turner. There's always that person who's more competitive than everybody else and will not leave, a game if they're continuing to win, or if they're not winning at all and they need to get that first win. And that is definitely the same when it comes to cornhole or other games of the type that you would play at a party. So most likely to be the cornhole champ at the party, or some sort of game champion that takes place at the party, is 100% Josh Winkowski to me. You see how pumped up he gets after he gets out of a jam with traffic on the bases, and he's all excited and he's all, screaming in a good way when he's going off the field. And that brings so much competitiveness. That showcases his ability to really, really figure it out when he needs to, and really lock in and be in that beast mindset. And so to me, he's the guy who I'm going to look at and say, okay, you will not be leaving the cornhole area until you win, or until you have beaten every single person there. So Josh Winkowski, to me, with his competitive nature and what it seems like, would be the most likely to be the cornhole champ at the party, because he would just refuse to leave and stop until he is. The cat dad of the group, this one was trickier because there are a few players that I could totally see being a cat dad, but I went with Brian Bayo. Please tell me you don't picture Brian Bayo going home from a baseball game when he just pitched a masterful start and going home to his cats. Like, who can't you not picture that? Like, come on. Like, I totally could see him leaving a game and being like, okay, I have to go home to my cats now, and going and watching TV and locking in with his cats, because honestly, that's such a nice life to have, being able to relax and come home to your furry friends and they love you even if you had a bad start that day. So I totally 100% see Brian Bayo, whether he shoves or has a bad start, owning a couple cats and going home to them after the fact. And I really think somebody should suggest this to him, that if he doesn't already, he should get a cat or two, because I totally 100% could see him being a really, really good cat dad, because he tends to have a lot of control on the mound and he keeps his composure, and you do need to be gentle to have cats. So I'm absolutely going with Brian Bayo for that. You really, really must see it, because there's something about him that I'm totally picturing doing that. Most likely to go on a crazy adventure like skydiving or something of the sorts, 100% is Tristan Casas to me. This kid seems like he really is not afraid to take chances or do anything. It's really been apparent in his play at the plate lately, where he's just absolutely grown insurmountably at the plate and being able to do different things with the bat and not being afraid to look for his pitch and swing at pitches he's comfortable with, as opposed to just letting pitchers walk all over him. So he's taking more chances at the plate. So I think he would take chances outside of baseball and be willing to be that person on the team who would go skydiving with me, which, by the way, skydiving is on my bucket list. I would love to do it one day. And I see Tristan Casas being the guy who would 100% agree to do that with me. If anybody's down, I am always down to try it, because I've just seen it happen in movies and I am so curious about it, and I would love to do it. But maybe Tristan Casas will hear this and go with me. Who knows? But I 100% could see him taking adventures and taking risks and going skydiving or going on some other wild adventure that might be scary for most people. But I'm pretty wild myself, so I would totally do it. Best cook in the group, I'm definitely going with Rob Refsnyder here. He seems like a very, very just typical dad type that handles the responsibility that comes with being around the house, whether it comes to taking care of the kids or cooking dinner or just, really doing typical dad things. And I think one of the things that sold me on this was when the Red Sox were playing on Sunday Night Baseball, they were interviewing Refsnyder, and he was talking about, what his family did for Father's Day that was special for him. And he said that they woke up and the kids and his wife made breakfast for him and woke him up and just really, really just enjoyed time together at home. And I feel like that's just an ordinary thing to do on a Sunday, no less Father's Day, just hanging out with the family, sleeping in, making breakfast. And then he went to the field. That just seems exactly like what an ordinary family would do. So I could totally picture him coming home from a day game and just cooking for the family and just being a secretly really good cook. And next time the Red Sox are on Sunday Night Baseball, somebody should ask him if he cooks and what his favorite thing is to cook, because I guarantee you this theory is right, and he is just such a phenomenal cook. Most likely to show up early every day and never, ever doubt it, Trevor Story. I mean, the work ethic of this guy is absolutely crazy. Just seeing the way that he's able to handle what he's had to overcome with his surgery and everything with such class and composure, and looking out for what's best for the team by asking if he could have more extended time to rehab in AAA, even though for him, it's holding him back from being able to be up with the Red Sox and contribute and be able to put up numbers at the major league level and improve from his season last year. He's looking out for what's best for himself and his recovery and what's best for the team, and asking for more time before he gets brought up to the majors. And that just resembles the work ethic of somebody who really, really cares and really puts everything they have into baseball. So I'm betting that he's never been late in his life. And I think he is the guy who, if I am, picking somebody on the team to be the most punctual when it comes to showing up early, Trevor Story 100%, I could totally see doing that. If you have other fun scenarios that you would like to share, definitely comment on the YouTube video or tweet at me at Gabby Hurlbut 10, and we can discuss more fun facts. There definitely will be more, by the way, as the season progresses, more time to share some fun facts and just come up with fun scenarios for Red Sox players to be in. Speaking of fun facts, a fun fact that I wanted to share before I let you go is about Connor Wong, actually. So Connor Wong currently has 17 runners that he's caught stealing as of August 3rd. which is a really, really good number. That's behind only 2 other catchers in Patrick Bailey of the San Francisco Giants and Shea Langoliers of the A's. So he has 17. That's really, really good. That's tied for third place with Phillies JT Realmuto and Diamondbacks Gabriel Moreno. So that's a really interesting fact. I mean, Connor Wong's progression this season has been so cool and fun to see. He's really come a long way, despite the fact that he's had to take on a big workload. He's been able to handle it well and continue to grow as a catcher. So I thought I'd share that with you. It's something that is a high note to leave you with on this fantastic Friday. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Let's go Red Sox. Let's win this absolutely crucial, important series against the Blue Jays and take care of business and continue moving forward. Keep the faith. Let's go Red Sox.